morning. My name's Jason and I'm one half of the Highwaymen.
Well, good morning, Jason, and a very warm welcome to you. And my name's Steve, and I'm the other half. And here we are again. Can't believe another week's gone by, mate. What are we going to be looking at today?
We are talking about the humble speedos, which are they coming back? Is it time for a comeback? What do we think on the whole thing? Let's go for it, Steve.
Did they ever go away? Did they ever go away? Did they live in the shadow for some considerable time?
Let's get a hand down the front of those speedos and find out what it's all about. That's what we need to do.
Let's do that. So speedos, that's quite interesting.
We need to go back to the 80s, don't we? We've got to go back to the 80s.
Yeah, 70s and 80s.
70s and 80s, because that was the chosen swimwear for blokes. And I remember in the 80s, and I'd have been about 16 and 17, and me and my mate Carl, we used to go swimming every week. In fact, there's a big group of us used to go every week, but me and my mate, and we all wore them because that's what you wore.
So you could get.
And me and my mate Carl was in almost like a competition to get the smallest ones possible. And in fact, I remember even ordering a pair from the Sun newspaper because they were selling them with Dr. Hillary, and he was like the model for them. And I remember ordering there because they had the smallest, thinnest sides, because we were sort of in a bit of a competition to who could go swimming with the skimpiest speedos. Thank God that thongs weren't in fashion back then for men. Well, they're not ever really been in fashion, but we'd have gone and bought them without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh my God. And isn't it interesting? We call them speedos, but that's actually the manufacturer. It's a bit like Hoover, isn't it?
Yes.
When we say the Hoover, it's actually a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
But that was all you could get, Jay. Yeah. And I remember when they started to bring out what we now just associate as swimming, the bigger sort of more Baywatch type of things. Yeah. Lots of swimming baths wouldn't allow them in.
Well, I remember going to France once.
Speedos.
I remember going to France once. We were in Brittany, and in France, because obviously you've lived in France. If you go to this, and I don't know if it's like it now, but I'm going to go back probably 2005, and boardies were in. Everyone was wearing the boardies, so these are like knee-length shorts. That was kind of the fashion. And we went to the swim baths. Now I always had some. Anyway, I never sort of. I always kept a pair of speedos anyway. But anyway, because I used to like swim.
Was that for sniffing or just posterity?
No, I used to I was swimming, so I used to have the goggles and the whole thing. So anyway, but we'd gone on holiday and we'd gone to the swimming baths. And if you didn't have trunks, you actually had to hire them. And I can't imagine hiring another pair of speedos that someone else has had on, unless they're for sniffing, of course. Then that could be an added bonus,
But the lost property.
Yeah, but and she very was quite gloating because I was an English tourist, and she said, "Well, you'll have to hire some proper trunks." And I said, "I've got some proper trunks," and she, I think she was kind of gloating, thinking, "Oh yeah, these British tourists come with their big board shorts on, thinking they can swim in, and they can't." So, and I don't know if it's still a thing in France. I believe it is. I think in France you still have to wear proper swimming trunks.
Oh, there you are. There you go. But of course, they were designed all those years ago to make you faster. Because obviously, the baggier the shorts, the more it's going to have more weight, and it's more going to pull you back, and you're going to be less streamlined. So of course, they were actually designed for proper athletic swimming back in the day. But absolutely. And of course, then they look marvelous, don't they, on young honed, such as our good selves, Jay. Sort of beef hunk males, but not so great on the, maybe a bit more like us, the slightly overweight, heading towards the wrong side of life.
Well, you speak for yourself, mate. I mean, I've got to say, so I got in, I lost, if you go back to some of my videos around Christmas time, I've lost quite a lot of weight this year. And one of the things I would joke with my wife is that I'm going to be in such good shape that I'm going to wear my speedos on holiday. And I've just come back on holiday, and I wore my speedos every day on holiday.
He couldn't fit them on. Let me just point that out. Everybody. He only went over one leg, but he wore them.
But no, I laid there on the first day. I took them, and I laid there on the first day in my shorts, and I've been in the pool. And there's nothing worse than sitting around in wet swimwear, is there?
Nothing worse.
And I just thought, what the hell? I'm going to stick them on. And so I stuck them on, and then every day afterwards, I wore them. So I have been wearing it, but I would say in the pool, in a resort, quite a big resort, there was probably only 4 people that had them on, including myself.
So I've got a question here. Are these your original ones from back in the day?
No,
Have you bought them recently?
no. These are new ones I bought. These are new ones I bought.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I've got one pair that I bought probably about 10 years ago that I never ever wore, because I bought them thinking, oh yeah, I'll wear them again. Because I have to say, going back to the whole board, when the boardies were in fashion, they were awful if you'd been swimming and then you was trying to sit and sunbathe, because they were just so. I had one pair of Abercrombie and Fitch ones that spring to mind that just held onto the water, and they were just heavy and horrible. And I remember thinking, God, Steve, I wish I, because it is a bit of a fashion faux pas still. Although you've got the likes of Mike Tyndall wearing them in the jungle last year. Do you remember seeing him wearing? He had them on.
Yes, I do.
And he actually got a contract with Budgie Smuggler after that, because that's what he was wearing. So Budgie Smuggler, for anyone who doesn't know, is a slang term for speedo type swimwear used by Australians. I think the premise is that there's a tiny little bird pushed down the front of them.
Yes.
And then, but there is now a brand called Budgie Smuggler in Australia. It's quite a big brand. So he had his Budgie Smugglers on. But I also, there's a young lad that I know. He's only about 30, and he'll go. He's a rugby player, and he'll literally go to the rugby matches, stand in the stands in his Budgie Smugglers. That's all he wears. It's kind of his thing. Right. He goes. So
there's a time and a place.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're sort of making a bit of a comeback, I think. But you know, I mean, shorts have got shorts. I mean, going back to what I was just saying, you know, we had the boardies in the 90s to early 2000s, early 2000s, I'd say. And then they've kind of got shorter and shorter and shorter. So now when you go on holiday, you do wear quite short shorts. So I think the next evolution is really for the old Speedo to come back in and have a comeback.
Well, it probably is, in all honesty. Now, another very important part of this is colour choice. So I think the go-to for most people seems to be a red pair. Okay. But blues, well, so it'd be nice to see some different colours. Do you know what I mean? So how about some fluorescent greens or some fluorescent yellows and that type of affair?
Well, that's kind
really
of
draw some attention to yourself.
I had a white pair. I took a white pair away with me, and I said these are the ones I bought, like I say, about 10 years ago, and I never wore them. And I got in the pool thinking this could go horribly wrong.
Yes, it could.
But they were fine. They were fine. Although I made the fatal mistake of putting them on, and I went for a massage, and they put like mud all over you. So didn't look very good afterwards. Let's just say that.
No.
Luckily,
I had a pair of shorts. Smeared them up your back just to make it look like.
I had a pair of shorts on me just to go back to the pool. I thought I can't go back to the pool in these looking all like I've shit myself. So I didn't. But it's the other interesting thing is that, you know, as I say, it can be considered a bit of a fashion faux pas. But you think about women's bikinis, you know, women, you know, a lot of the younger girls now will have the thong bikinis on and stuff like that, you know, to get as small as possible, to get the most sun tanning and all the rest of it, where it's okay for women to squeeze into a tiny bikini. But if a man does a similar thing, it seems to be sort of not the done thing.
Well, that's because a woman's body is a beautiful thing to look at, and it's curvy and vivacious and smooth and lovely and everything else. And like us, hairy, hideous, bits going all over the place. It's just I got to say no. So I'm all for, perhaps a bit sexist, all for minimalist micro bikinis. But if it was up to me, mate, blokes would be going swimming in a freaking knitted cardigan from there right down to their ankles. I don't want to see that. Thank you very much.
I think a knitted cardigan's a little bit too much when you've been in the water, mate. I think that would.
Well, that's what they used to wear in the Victorian
that would be heavy. Yeah, they did.
I mean, to wear.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't. It was like a long t-shirt, wasn't it?
Like they were knitted. They were woolen. They were woolen.
Were they?
Yeah, they were woolen. And what they used to do is they used to wheel the bathing machine down to the water's edge, so you could get in all fully robed, and then you could pop out the back door. No pun intended. You could come out the back door directly into the water in your knitted cardigan or whatever it is you're wearing. Do your bathing. Get back into your machine. Nobody's. It's not ruined your modesty. Nobody's seen you do it. Back in you get. Off comes your wet through thing, which probably never dried out. In fact, even today, I bet if they found one, it'd still be wet. Back on with all your bustle and all your bits and pieces, and you can walk all demurely back onto the beach, and while your poor peasants drag your bathing machine back up the beach for you.
Sorted, very good. So,
but that was only what 100 years ago.
Probably less than that, really. Because I think the 30s were like probably like a similar sort of thing to what I've got on now, like a longer sleeve t-shirt. all in one down to the knees. But then people swam and they didn't really sunbathe, did they? I would imagine.
No, they didn't. No, they
Yeah.
excuse me. No, they didn't sunbathe.
I mean, bear in mind there would be no suntan lotion there. So realistically, especially for like English people like us, 10 minutes in the sun and you start to burn, that would be enough. So sunbathing,
get some lard on, get a bit of grease.
Yeah, a bit of oil, just to kind of base you up. So
yeah,
that's
lovely.
That's what they did.
Gas Regulo 9, off we go. Job done. So speedos, yeah, generic term for a style of swimwear.
Just make sure that if you do get the brand with speedo on, that the chlorine doesn't wear the S off, and you're walking around with pants on that say pedo, because you might get in trouble.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. And may I say, for gentlemen of not such a well-endowed proportions, please revert to one of our early videos about bulge-enhancing underwear that perhaps you can wear underneath your speedos.
Yeah. Or you can get matching. I'm sure they do swimwear in the similar sort of vein.
I bet they do. I'm
sure they do. I'm sure they do. So would you wear one then, Steve? Tell me now, being a man of a certain age, would you wear a speedo?
No, I wouldn't, mate, not anymore. So I have, and I've got to be honest, I've had them for years, and I can't find anything that I prefer more. They're classic Baywatch swimming shorts / they're not long by any stretch of the imagination. They're like 1970s football shorts, I suppose.
Do you run in slow motion in them? You say they're classic Baywatch. I mean, do you kind of run along the beach like this?
Of course.
Just to get the full effect. You've had them for years. I think it must be about time for a change then, surely, because they won't be red anymore if you've been in the swimming pool in them.
I've got red. They're more of a pinky kind of a hue now.
I've got red shorts that I bring out every year and think, oh no, they're just faded too much now. They've been out in the sun and out in the pool and all the rest of it.
Oh no, they do me. Do you know what? They do me, and absolutely fine. I don't think, Jay, I'm at that point in my life. I don't really think, no matter what it was that I bought, it's not going to make me look any better. So do you know what? It's what it is.
And nobody's really and the other thing is nobody's really looking anymore, are they? You know what I mean?
Be. Bit upset about that. So, but they perhaps are, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Dreadful.
But I must admit, I do love the old boys that do wear the speedos and the budgie smugglers
with the
big,
big bellies.
To put it in a massive belly, a huge big belly. They're waddling off up the beach, proud as punch.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I remember watching. I used to like Miami Vice, and I started to watch the reruns. It's on Amazon at the moment on Freeview, and there's one of the scenes there, and literally people are walking up the street wearing them, and you kind of think, I can't believe that people would actually do that, but yeah, they did.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you are. Thanks, all sorts.
That was the 80s.
Come back. Are they going to make it come back?
I think they're going to. I mean, fashion ultimately comes back. I mean, they probably won't come back quite as they did. There'll be some sort of minor change, maybe. Maybe they'll be super high cut or something ridiculous like that. Wearing them up to your chest like that. You know what I mean? Some bizarre kind of twist. You know what I mean?
See-through panel in the back, something like that. I don't know.
That could be the thing. Ideal for if you've had a curry the night before, for a bit of extra ventilation.
Yeah, definitely do not go for a mud massage in a pair of them,
especially white ones. Get a pair of brown ones. That's what I need. A pair of brown ones, just for massages.
The way to go.
Just for massages, yes. So okay, so do we think they'll come back? Yes or no?
I think they probably will. In all honesty, everything does. Everything's a.
Do you think they should come back? Yes or no? Well, you say no. You want cardigans. I think so. I think equal rights for men and women. I think, and I'm going to be hopefully, unless I have a fat Christmas, I'm going to be wearing mine next year.
Well,
again,
I say yes, they should come back, but with a caveat. All right, and you're not going to like me for this, but the caveat is it's a bit like fags. They can only be sold to people around a certain age. So to me,
you can buy,
it's going to be capped at 35, mate.
Can we just say 35. When Steve referred to fags, he meant cigarettes, which is an English slang term, just so for our American audience so they understand. You can't have fags over a certain age. Yes.
So I think you've got to be 16 and over to buy them, no older than 35. And if you're caught with a pair, you don't even have to be wearing them. If you're caught with a pair over the age of 35, then it's prison for you, I'm afraid. Simple as that.
I'm going to prison.
I think you perhaps
I better not go in my speedos to prison, otherwise I might have a really good time.
And the colour will determine the length of your sentence.
Oh, okay. So white ones with a smidge of brown is not going to work. I actually did actually contemplate wearing mine today for this very call, this video, but I decided to spare the audience.
I see. Well, I think that was very thoughtful and kind of you. As you know, in all honesty, there's enough doom and gloom going on in the world as it is.
I don't know. Anyway, let us know what your thoughts are on the subject, and don't forget to like this video, to subscribe to our channel, and what else have we got to do, Steve?
Oh, mate, it's very important. Whether you're wearing your budgie smugglers or whether you're not, get pressing our bell end. We absolutely love it.
Thanks very much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll speak to you next time.
Cheers, guys. Have fun. Bye.